Hello and welcome to Brave Souls Rewind, a show where I 200 older characters so you don't have to. Today I'll be doing the video on Nemu, a character that I was kind of avoiding doing for the simple fact of her special and how just weird it is. I've actually had her 200 for quite some time. That said, I never actually used her, so I figured why not. I was gonna do it eventually, so why not now? Now we start with the normal attack damage build, and as far as attacks goes, hers isn't the best, it's only a 604. That said, she does have a plus 30 bruiser, so she's got a little bit of support from that. Overall, the damage wasn't terrible. I was able to deal with the enemies individually pretty quickly, but that part's kind of important, because this character can really only attack a few enemies at a time. Since she doesn't actually have a sword, there's no slash. Really the only enemies that you can attack are the ones directly in front of you, so getting through a horde of enemies actually took a lot longer than I'd wanted. Now if her attacks were faster, this wouldn't be that much of an issue, but you'd still only be able to attack a few enemies at a time. So yeah, this build is not viable and Nemu is in dire need of some long reach. Next up, we have the strong attack damage build, and I actually quite like her strong attacks. She may be an older character, but she's actually got some really good range on her strong attacks. She's actually got a decent SP as far as old characters go, and she's got a plus 40 berserker, not to mention her strong attacks hit more than once despite not having frenzy. Her strong attacks are good enough to take care of some of these smaller enemies in one go. Some of the bigger ones you are gonna have to put a little bit more effort to, and eventually you will have to use your normal attack, which at this point really sucks. There's no speed, there's no range, and under this build there's not much damage. So yeah, I'm not gonna say this build is viable. If she had frenzy, then maybe, since you'd be able to take care of some of the bigger enemies with one shot, but as it stands, it is not a viable build. Next up, we have the strong attack recharge build, and when I first started, I really thought that my strong attacks weren't going to do that much damage, since under the last build, the bigger enemies didn't go down with one shot. But to my surprise, it actually did really well. The enemies that went down in one shot in the last build also went down with one shot in this build. Sure, it took a little bit more effort than the last build to take care of some of the bigger enemies, but for the most part it wasn't terrible. You still have to use your normal attack when waiting for your strong attacks to come back, and it does still suck, but at least your strong attacks come back faster, so this isn't that big of a deal. That said, I really only believed that I was able to take out some of the smaller guys in one shot because I was going up against hollows. I am gonna say that this build is usable, but you're gonna want to stack everything in your favor if you're gonna use it. Bleep bloop. And finally, we have the Highbreed build, and this is actually a build I can get behind. Your strong attacks do quite a bit of damage due to your high attack and high SP, and while they don't come back as fast as the last build, you still have your normal attack to rely on. Now I still don't like her normal attack, but under this build, it's actually bearable since it does a decent amount of damage, and you don't only have to rely on it. It's easily the best build out of the four, but there's not much of a surprise there. Now don't get me wrong, it's not a perfect build. Her strong attacks could do a bit more damage, and her normal attacks definitely need more range. But it is still a usable build, though I wouldn't take her to anything difficult like droplet zones or inheritance zones. This Nemu is definitely fixable. An increase in stats will definitely help, but ultimately what she needs is a better normal attack. Obviously they can't replace her normal attack animation, but giving her long range would definitely help. As for the strong attacks, they don't need that much more help. An increase in stats is probably all that's needed, and if they give her frenzy, that's just a bonus.
どれ一丁やってるかこれが男の生き様じゃ
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to the channel. Also, why not check out some other rewinds and let me know what other character you want to see.